Brad, what's the defensive coordinator do during a 2-hour delay?
He stresses, no, it was interesting. Everybody did a little bit of something, right? You walk around, and then you realize it's going to be extended. You sort of sit down, and luckily some other games are on at that time, so you can try to take your mind off it, keep going through different scenarios, because the more football you watch, the more you're like, oh man, you may not have thought of that, or you're like, oh man, I got to remind the guys of this. So yeah, you just kept waiting and thinking, and I had to try to calm myself and be like, hey, don't overthink. You got the plan, let's go.
Or do you think more after that game about the one drive that they extended, or all the other drives that were so dominant, I guess?
No, you think about it all, right? But obviously, for us as coaches, like we think about the ones that we really need to improve on, and you think about the missed opportunities, in drive number 2. You think about the missed opportunities on the very first play of the game, and we did 2-hour delay, and not to make excuses, right? 2-hour delay, the guys are amped up, they're ready to go. Good call on their part with the flea flicker, but we talked about, hey, vision, relax, like especially early in games, right? Everybody's amped up, just play. And we should have had that thing capped off, but Pop made a nice play on that second play, and then we come right back out. We make 2 really good plays on first and second down, and have an opportunity on third to get off and just get the thing rolling early, and didn't happen. Didn't execute the way we should have, and but hey, listen, like that's football. We talked about, hey, get off the field by any means necessary. Yeah, we gave up 3 straight first downs. We get another chance at a third down. We talk about rise up in the red zone, so it's a third down red zone, and we talk about turnovers. And so we get all 3 on one play, a third down turnover in the red zone. So, and I think that really sparked, the guys. But I'm also, glad that they got to feel that stress. They needed to feel that stress. We've got a really good football team coming in here this week, and so, hopefully we're dialed in and ready to go.
What's the kind of attitude impact of putting up a goose egg on the scoreboard and keeping the other guys out of the red zone, in the end zone, heading into week 2?
Yeah, you know what? Again, we got to win the week. Last week was last week. Nice job by rising up there in the red zone when we had an opportunity to do it, but that's last week. I hope our guys went in and they watched the game, with the mentality of, okay, let's look at all the things, not that we did well, but all the things that we did poor. And there was plenty on film that we got to get cleaned up, or we'll be in trouble. So I think they did. I think they've attacked this week thus far. We've still got a couple of days left, to finish off the prep and put the finishing touches on it. But it's been a good week. I know they're ready to hopefully come out and play sort of a normal, at least a normal kickoff. No games ever normal, but at least a normal kickoff time.
Brad, what concerns you the most about South Carolina's offense?
Well, first of all, I know they're really well coached. I know Dowell. He's a friend of mine, and he does a really, extensive experience. Does a great job calling games, setting up games. And so he's going to have those guys ready to play. A really talented quarterback. Yes, one that may had some first game jitters. Anticipate him coming in ready just to really to light it up. And he's got all the tools. He's got the arm strength. He's got the legs. Obviously, Rocket Sanders there in the backfield, is a proven commodity. And they've got weapons on the outside edge. The tight ends, I think, are really good players. So you talk about good players with good scheme, and play calling. We've got our work cut out for us.
You expected to see a lot of run heavy offense from South Carolina this week?
Yeah, I think we're going to see a balanced offense. I do. I think people forget about, it's the same situation. They had to deal with a delay. Things were just all across the board for every team, in college football, or not every team, but in a lot of games, had to deal with some really adverse situations. And it's week 1, and game one is always tough as it is. So I expect them to come in, be really sharp, really balanced, run and pass. And so we've got to be ready to handle that.
Brad, you talked about, you guys continuing to string performances together, like good games together. Kind of like everyone besides Dion really had a good game on your front. I mean, JJ and Saunders and Ripka, Dion obviously attracting so much attention. So does that kind of give your other guys on the front opportunities to continue to make plays with Dion getting so much attention?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, and I think those guys that you mentioned really strained and played hard. Like they, and I think we've all come accustomed to, Dion just making every play, and it's a sort of in concert. Like he I think people forgot that he did make plays in that game. Like I don't know, some people he didn't make enough. I don't know, but I thought across the front they all did not a sneeze, but a good job of straining. Playing physical against the run game. I thought that's where it all started. I didn't think they got to a point where they could feel like they could really run the ball effectively, against us. And then the guys I thought did a nice job, in terms of rushing the passer when it was time to do that. Guys on tip balls, we talk about tips and overthrows, and we get 2 tip ball interceptions. We need more of that this week.
How did you think about JQ perform, Brad, out there with DJ out?
Yeah, I thought he did well. I thought he was, again, there's a reason that he, started as many games as he did for us last year, and we've got supreme confidence in him to go out and make plays and perform. And, obviously, in that moment was a really big play for us. I know D-Jack he made an unbelievable play, read it perfect, just how we practiced. Would like D-Jack to squeeze the ball, but JQ doing a nice job there cleaning it up.
Brett, I think the belief anyway is that when a team plays an opening game, especially against a non-conference opponent, an offense, you're not going to show a whole lot. Is that they save it for the second game, especially when it's an SEC game? Is that the way it usually happens, or do people go with what they know?
Listen, I don't know, I don't know who goes by that philosophy or not. I'm not here to talk about anybody else's philosophy. I know, we approached, Southern Miss full bore. And quite frankly, I think if you do anything else, you make yourself really susceptible to putting an L in the column.
You talked all summer about those 4 talented safeties in the back and finding different ways to mix and match with them. How'd you feel about their first game showing? Yeah,
you know what, I thought they, all got a chance to get in and rotate and played with some different combos. I do think, maybe some played better than others. Again, it's first game. Sometimes there's jitters, but there's some things we've got to get cleaned up there, and they will. There were some mistakes that you don't even see in practice. So we got that addressed and handled, and we'll be in good shape going forward.
Brad, with the talent that their quarterback has, running the ball, keeping plays alive, is gap discipline something you talk about a little more this week, or just standard operating procedure?
No, the thing with QB run game is that it creates an extra gap, and if you play any single high defense, they really, outnumber you in that regard. And so, guys have to be really strong, in terms of their gap control, but then, guys are going to have to sort of play their gap plus, unless you use the post safety or you go to some kind of split safety coverage. So, no, obviously, when a Q can run, it adds that extra dimension, and it forces you to have to do some different things, or play with a little bit of a different mentality. So again, it's a huge challenge, and obviously I think everybody saw on full display what he can do when he takes off with the ball.
Alex had a couple of tackles for loss. What did you see from him just playing closer to the ball, up in that inside backer position?
Yeah, he played both. He played inside and out. Really kind of almost split the snaps there. And I thought he did, he played well at both. Obviously, still some things at times, like they all do, that we got to get cleaned up. But I thought he played fast. I thought he played physical. You can see the confidence. You've got a guy that's, started and played significantly for 2 years. Year 3, you come in and you're like, okay, I got this. And there's just a different presence about him out there, and a physicality and a firmness and a sturdiness. And so that was really good to see.
Okay, folks, thank you very much.
Thank you.